Figure skating has been developing so rapidly in the last decade that sometimes neither the rules, nor the federations, nor the athletes themselves can keep up with it. One of the main innovators among men, Chinese Boyang JIN, at the last autumn Classic-2023, finished in 5th place with a modest 230 points in total. Although a few years ago he lamented that he rarely surpassed the 300 mark and dreamed of programs without triple jumps. In 2015, user Hanyu assured that Boyan was the future of men's skating. It was in 2015 that Hanyu spoke about the importance of jumping elements in figure skating. I trained a quadruple loop and Lutz, which so far only Boyang JIN has successfully done. In training, I also managed to do this jump, but I myself still perceive such attempts as a great miracle. At the same time, I am aware that for now my loop and Lutz are not good enough to be included in the program. I even once tried to jump a quadruple axel, but I didn't get it right and fell. As for the question of how many quads will be needed to win the 2018 Olympics, it is not so easy to answer. Different things happen at the Olympics. I remember very well how in 2002 at the Games in Salt Lake City, a good half of the participants performed the quad well. And in Vancouver, Ivan Lysacek became the champion without having a single such jump in his program. But you yourself nevertheless do 5 quadruple jumps in 2 programs. It was not an end in itself. The goal is to perform all these jumps with a difficult entry and exit. Besides that, I have a good triple axel. In the future, I think the number of quadruple jumps in men's programs will certainly increase. This can be seen even in Boyang JIN, who just came to adult skating from junior skating, but is already an excellent quad Lutz jumper. So, looking at Boyan, I can say I see the future of men's skating something to strive for. User Hanyu was quoted by Sport Express in 2015, with reference to the German magazine Period. Then the Chinese lost stability, went through several crises in relations with coaches and the federation, and now, without options, he is losing to young competitors for whom he paved the way to super difficult content. Despite this, he begins his 9th international season, and again claims to be at the main competitions. People started talking about Boyan and his amazing technical skills when he was still skating among the juniors. In the 2013-14 season, while skates with 2 quads were still a novelty for adults, JIN landed 3. In the 2013 Grand Prix final, he performed a free program more difficult than Hanyu's at the Olympics in Sochi, and at the domestic Chinese Cups, he also declared more ultra C. At the insistence of the Chinese Figure Skating Association, CFSA, Boyan remained in juniors almost until he was 18, although he admitted that it was cramped for him there. Immediately after switching to senior ice, he hit the world top. He took silver at 2 stages of the Grand Prix and the Championship of 4 continents, and then bronze at the World Championship, the first for the Chinese men's team, and a year later the second. The 2015-16 season is still the most successful in Boyan's career. In addition to medals, he captured several world records, including the world's first clean 4 quadruples in 1 program, and a total of 6 in 2 skates, the first quadruple Lutz with plus marks, and a cascade of quad Lutz and triple toe loop at ISA competitions. The quad revolution in men's skating began with JIN and the American Nathan Chen. The Chinese then convinced that it was not at all difficult for him, he just needed to get in the right mood. I dream that in my program there will be only quadruple jumps or triple axels and no other triples. I've always loved the jumping part of figure skating. At home he was called the Martian boy. The high complexity compensated for the mistakes and low second score, but Boyan was mercilessly criticized for the lack of musicality and plasticity, junior gliding and empty transitions. He received record points for technique, but fell back behind the top 10, losing 15-20 points to the leaders. There were also experts who sided with the Chinese, among them Evgeny Plashenko, Alexei Ermanov and Alexei Nikolaevich Masin. To those who think that his programs are run up and jump, I can answer. This boy is quite graceful. It just doesn't have the charm of the name. And so it is not crooked or oblique. Normal guy. It is already good in terms of components. And when he improves them further, and the audience gets used to him, it will no longer be possible to give him such a low second rating. Alexei Masin prophesied in 2015. Over the next 2 seasons, Boyan really improved his second grade. In the free program, the personal record increased by 10 points, in the short program by 4. Although racing for jumps and at the same time working on gliding at that time seemed like a difficult task. On average, bonuses for performance also increased, but stability was poor. A fall in the free program at the 2018 Games did not allow me to rise above 4th place, and a breakdown at the post-Olympic World Championships completely threw me back to 19th place. Since the 2018-19 season, Boyang has experienced sharp changes in results. From the disrupted French Grand Prix, where in 2 days there were only 2 clear jumps and a meager score of 208.89, to the successful 2019 Four Continents Championship, with 2 personal records that have not yet been broken. The Chinese stormed from 22nd place at the Pre-Olympic World Championships, 2021 to 9th at the Beijing Games, and again to 22nd at the Post-Olympic World. All this time, Boyang was almost constantly plagued by health problems. In the fall of 2017, he was in a car accident and injured his hip. Then came 2 dislocations due to untied shoelaces, ankle injuries, viruses and ongoing insomnia. Added to this were periodic problems with skates and a strange story, with the transfer to the group of Brian Orser, who broke down twice. Until the spring of 2018, Boyang trained with Jiu, then he went to Canada, but did not leave. The federation said it was better for his career because he is more familiar with the Chinese training environment and methods. At the same time, Boyang said that he does not have enough ice in Beijing. The skating rink schedule was so tight that he only had 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon, so he sacrificed lunch and skated while everyone else went on break. And this despite the fact that by that time Boyang had already been the leader of the team for several years, and was the only one who imposed competition on the top at international competitions. In addition, the federation was in no hurry to help with travel to competitions. In the 2018-19 season, the skater almost missed the Grand Prix stage in Finland because a ticket to Helsinki was bought under the wrong name. Then he arrived right at the beginning of the French leg because he was not given a visa on time. In the winter of 2021, Orser nevertheless joined Boyang's coaching staff, but due to COVID restrictions, the athlete prepared for the home Olympics with his previous team in China. Moreover, he periodically remained alone in order to protect the coach, who suffered from diabetes, from the virus. He missed half of that season because he came down with appendicitis in October. He avoided surgery, but lost 10 kilograms in 2 weeks, and took a long time to get back into shape. The Chinese dropped from 7th to 35th place in the ISA rankings, and lost that very charm of the name. The second grade began to decline following the technique, although by the age of 25, Boyang had improved his gliding, and gradually found his own style. He switched to classical music, blues and soul in his performances. He also attracted new choreographers: Benoit Cho, Joey Russell and David Wilson. In the fall of 2022, Boyang finally moved to Canada and announced that he was entering a new Olympic cycle. However, since then, due to injuries, he has made only 3 starts, never rising above the 230 mark. In the 2023-24 season, Boyang started with 2 quadruples. All this time, despite drops in form, he held the Lutz and toe loop. The problem now is that these jumps are consistently landed by a dozen singles athletes, including in cascades. Athletes at the top 10 level of the World Championship claim a minimum of 5 quads in 2 programs or gain points, with high second marks, and bonuses for clean landings. To get into the top 3, you need to maintain the level of complexity, execution, and presentation. Boyang has had serious problems with each of these criteria over the past few years.